Hello and welcome to another puzzle video. Today I will be going over the Golden Bat versus Houdini. This is the second in my series of a puzzle for each of the Tales to Amaze fighters. Kind of with some unique questions. Previously in most puzzles I ask you who won. It was kind of a fun scenario to figure that out. And for Gen Con, I did a puzzle where if you got the right answer, you got a foil. So I had to make it more than just a 50-50. So the question here is, or the scenario here, 0 cards in Golden Bat's deck, 0 cards in Houdini's deck. Golden Bat has an Alpine Fortress and a Terrifying Roar, and Houdini has 3 copies of the Vanishing Act. There is a way for Golden Bat to win. You have to tell me that way. If you are familiar with not only all the cards that you see here, but all the cards in Golden Bat's deck, I would recommend pausing this video and then skipping to the solution portion. If you are not familiar with all of Golden Bat's cards in deck, I will go ahead and show those to you now because you do have an Alpine Fortress, which says choose a card in your discard pile, shuffle it into your deck, draw 2 cards, move Golden Bat up to 4 spaces. And I guess, spoiler alert, you will need that card. So that said, I'm going to go ahead and zoom out and go ahead and take a look at those cards. All right, so first we have Imposing Presence, which is a defense-only card. It says cancel all effects on your opponent's card. Then we have He Laughs at Your Feebleness. It's just a 5-value block. Amazing card. We see Alpine Fortress, which we already have seen in his hand. We see Arrive Just in Time. Place Golden Bat in any space. It's a great card. Insight of the Ancients. If you won the combat, so only if you won, return a random card in your discard pile to your hand. We see Sight Beyond Sight. Look at the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck. Put them back in any order. We see Like a Flash of Golden Light. If Golden Bat shares no zones with the space he started in, so much like Jump Scare from Bloody Mary's deck, this card's value is a 4 instead. And then move Golden Bat up to 5 spaces is the after combat. Very solid card. Terrifying Roar, which you have already seen. Skirmish. If you won the combat, move one of the fighters in the combat up to 2 spaces. Also pretty good. A Punch to Shake the Earth. Deal 1 damage to each opposing fighter in your zone. If you won the combat, deal 2 damage instead. Super Strength. Just a 5-value attack, which is a 7-value attack if you have your ability, which I forgot to mention earlier, but I will mention it now. Vaporizing Eye Beams. Finally, your opponent discards 1 random card. All right, zooming back in. Here we go. Golden Bat's ability is, if you haven't taken a maneuver action this turn, add +2 to the value of Golden Bat's attacks. And this will trigger if Alpine Fortress, forces you to move, because that doesn't count as a maneuver. You received your movement in other ways. Houdini's ability as well, if you're unfamiliar, when you take the maneuver action and boost, you may place Houdini in any space instead of moving. All right, so there's the scenario. You have all of Golden Bat's cards. You have the cards in his hand here. And I'm just telling you that there is a way for Golden Bat to win, but you have to tell me what that way is. And let's go ahead and pause right there, and we'll hop into the solution soon. All right, so if you are here and you found the solution, I applaud you. A lot of people were mad at me for this solution, looking at Freak in particular. The reason why is the solution is a little wacky, and I'm sorry if it gave any of you pause. But the solution, basically, we'll go ahead and go into the solution, and we can kind of rule out kind of certain options and such. So if I use Alpine Fortress and I move to go here, and let's say I recur an attack card. I attack with an attack card. Let's say I take the 5 back and he defends with this. So he'll take 5 down to 2 health, which is pretty good for me. But then he goes down to 1 health and he only has 1 defense. I have 2 more attacks. So if I double attack him, he will die. So we see that getting an attack card that smacks that hard is not going to work. However, we do see that there is some potential after combat movement effects. So for example, if you recur Skirmish, with this card, and the reason you go down to 1, right, is you draw 2 cards. So you put 1 card back in your deck, then you draw 2 cards. So draw 1, the card you just put back, then 2, so you go down to 1 health. And you can say maneuver up to here and attack him with this 6 value attack. He could defend with this 1, 2, 3, 4 damage over the top, and then you actually get to push yourself or Houdini away. Now the problem is, no matter where you go, even if you're able to like go here and Houdini's further away, Houdini does get this too if you want to, you know, say move you here first, because he can use his after combat first and you can go here. But more importantly, he can boost with his, you know, whatever card he has in hand, and he'll be able to teleport anywhere. So that doesn't work. So that's with Skirmish, and so in a likewise fashion, and with this card, which would let you move up to 5 spaces instead, it's the exact same thing because it does the same amount of damage. So he would maneuver, boost with 1 card, be able to reach you, attack you. You have to defend. So by now you were probably pretty frustrated, and you told me there's a way, Chad. What's the way that I can guarantee it? Well, I was a little cheeky with my thing. There's not a way to guarantee it if you're in like a competitive game, right? You're done at this point. But you do have one hope, and that is that you just get incredibly lucky. So if at this point that you said, oh, I knew it. Oh, you jerk, Chad. I'm sorry. There were people like that at Gen Con. I was able to kind of give a little hint that said, assume everything goes your way. So if you would like that hint, go ahead and pause the video again. If you still haven't figured it out, I would recommend going with that hint, assuming everything goes your way. Kind of do with that what you will. Pause and then, you know, check back in a few seconds. All right, so assuming everything goes your way, all of you know that that was me being cheeky and saying use Insight of the Ancients, which says if you won the combat, return a random card in your discard pile to your hand. You've realized that any other solution is going to cause you to lose, so you have to do this in order to win. And so you use this to go ahead and go down to 1, and then you'll actually attack with Insight of the Ancients. Now, that attack will go ahead and go into one of these. It's a safe assumption to assume that Houdini will defend with one of these, at least in my opinion. I don't think Houdini can take it no matter what. I'm pretty confident of that because you go down to 5, so he's in a pretty rough spot. He'd still have to attack you twice. He'd have 1 card left for defense, but then he's at 2 health, so he's probably going to die. So there's not a scenario in which Houdini takes. I'll just put that on the table. So he does defend, but you do win the combat. So he takes 3 damage, and you go ahead and you get any card back from your discard pile. Now, it is a random card. However, I told you that there was a way for him to win. So what card do you recur that makes it so that you can win? And the answer is the other Insight of the Ancients. So you'll recur that, and that is that. So now it's Houdini's turn. So Houdini's going to attack you, and you have to defend with Terrifying Roar because you need to keep him there. You have to keep him next to you. So you're going to throw Terrifying Roar, and Houdini's going to stay there. So now if Houdini maneuvers again, which he can do, he's still next to you. You're totally fine with that. You'll be able to smack him with your ability, and you win. So let's assume he attacks again. So you're going to play another Insight of the Ancients, and you need to recur something that can kill him, which is going to do 4 damage. So as long as you chose any attack card, literally any card that can be used as an attack, except for a punch to shake the earth, because you are not in the same zone, you got the solution correctly. So any attack, let's go ahead and say you grab this one, then Houdini's next to you with 4 health, you go ahead and attack, perfectly kill him, and there you have it. So yeah, that's how Golden Bat does it. The solution is first action, he recurs Insight of the Ancients, he attacks Houdini defends, he recurs another Insight of the Ancients, then defends with Terrifying Roar, defends with Insight of the Ancients, and then recurs any attack card to be able to kill Houdini. And if that makes you angry, I'm sorry. The next one with Tesla versus Little Red probably won't. But if you like these kind of off-the-wall puzzles, stick around because I have a lot more ideas in the future. But thanks for playing, and I hope to see you around for the next one.